Okay, so just a review a little bit from yesterday. This is on our 108B.3, shaving and beard skills. So we went over some of this yesterday, but as we come down here, I'm gonna go over the steps real quick again. Okay, so shaving, preparation and considerations is prepping the face, lathering, shaving, and post-shave treatments. Draping, skin analysis, steam towels, and pre-lather, pre-shave lotion, pre-shave oil. First lather, these are all going to do the same thing. They're going to make sure that the skin gets properly ready for shave. So first of all, draping, right? Purpose, avoiding contact with the skin. We want to make sure we cover the headrest. That is a must. Do not forget to cover the headrest. I saw before lots of times people forgot to cover the headrest. Don't do it. Okay. Sit the client upright, turn the collar inside out, cover the headrest, recline the chair. If you use two towels, we're going to make sure we put the first towel diagonal across the chest. And then we're going to place the cape loosely around them and place the other towel over the top. If you only use one towel, we just want to make sure that we place the towel over the top of the drape. But we don't want to fasten it in the back. Okay. We want to analyze the skin, right? Make sure that there's no reason why we can't give them a great shave. Look at the growth hair, look at the growth patterns, look at the texture of the skin, grain changes in those growth patterns. Use our steam towel, right? The steaming over the top of our lather or our pre-shave oil or shave cream is going to relax the client, soften the cuticles, stimulate glands, soften that skin up, make it easier to shave. If you use a pre-shave or a lotion, you can apply it to the skin after the first towel. You can apply it before the first towel, right? It can be applied prior to lathering, can be combined with lather and soap, cream or gel, protects the skin and reduces skin irritation. So we're going to be lathering with our hands around here, but what we're going to do is apply with our fingertips, using the cushion of the fingertips. Remember, that's just the top of your finger here, from the knuckle, from the fingertip to the first knuckle, in a circular or rotating motion, right? Being careful that we're only going to place it where we need to shave it. Okay, so our two most common shaving, I can't even say that fast. Our two most common shaving surfaces is our face shave and our head shave. We're going to go in the grain of the hair. We're going to go in the direction of the hair growth. Right. So here's our shaving zones. This is for the right-handed barber. Okay, zones 1 and 6 are the sideburn to the jawline to the angle of the mouth. Zones 2 and 7 are from the angle of the mouth to the point of the chin. Zones 3 and 8 to the center of the upper lip to the corner of the mouth. Zones 9 and 4 is the jawbone to the grain change. And zones 5 and 10 are the neck to the grain change. Zone 11 is across the chin, either right or left. Zone 12 is under the chin to the grain change. Zones 13 is the center of the neck to the grain change. Zone 14 is your lower lip or the soul patch, right? Shaving strokes are going to be at 30 degrees, angle of the skin. Risk of cutting the skin is if you hold it above 30 degrees, risk of skin irritation as at below 30 degrees, but it also doesn't cut correctly. And razor cuts hair with the point of the razor leading. So when you go to place that razor down, make sure you know the parts of your razor so you know exactly where the point is, because that's what you lead with when you go into actual shaving. So our positions of our shaving strokes are freehand, backhand, reverse freehand, and reverse backhand. The freehand is coming towards you, the backhand is gliding away from you. The reverse freehand is a semi-arc towards you, and the reverse backhand is cutting short strokes, gliding downwards and slightly outwards. So what this means is The reverse backhand is only done on the left back side of the neck. Your books actually show a lot more detail of the zones. Okay. So the body position. It's pretty easy to do the right side of the face when you are right-handed. It's the left side that most people have a little bit of problem with when it comes to
Hi, Miss Connie.
hello, when it comes to standing there trying to do your reverse back or your backhand on the left side of the face, that's where it feels a little awkward. So what we need to do is learn these body positions, right? We can stand slightly in front of the client. We can stand to the center of the client's side. We can stand behind the client's shoulder. We can stand at the client's shoulder. Either one of these will work, but we just got to figure out which is most comfortable for us, because everybody has a little bit of a difference, and that's going to come from practice. Okay, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Post-shave treatments. These are calming and soothing and moisturizing the skin after shaving. Most of these will help restore a pH, close pores, and tighten skin, almost like a toner. Some people even like the astringents because they like that burning and tingling feeling when you're done. Moisturize the skin. You can have moisturizers, toners, oils, all different types of post-shave treatments. You need to find the one that's going to be right for the skin type that you're working on. And you won't even know what the skin type that you're working on is unless you've done a proper analysis ahead of time.
Do they have treatments with no fragrances?
Yeah, they do have unscented. Most of the time when you're looking for something like that without a fragrance, you would be looking for something that would say for sensitive skin. Those, because you'll see the skin types, right? They'll say like oily, normal, combination, sensitive. Sensitive would be the one you would want to get for if you don't want any kind of, they may have a slight fragrance, but it's not going to be irritating to the skin if it's a sensitive skin one. So honing and stropping, right? Honing is the stone that sharpens it, and the strop is that leather and canvas that is going to smooth it out and make it easier to use. One of the things that you should be doing is making sure that you use the same amount of strokes on each side when you use this. Okay. So again, we're going to prep, lather, shave, and post-shave for a full head treatment. Do the same thing, right? You're going to analyze the skin, you're going to drape it, you're going to apply your steam towel with your post, oiled, shaved, creamed, lather. But we're also going to keep the client setting upwards, and we're actually going to secure the drape, just like if we were going to give them a haircut. And use the second towel. Again, you want to analyze the head. Steam your towel. It's lathering with the But which way do we actually do the strokes now when we're going to be shaving a head? Well, a little diagram up here is showing us that which way does the hair grow? In the crown area, the head's always going to push off where the whorl's at. So which direction is that hair growing in? That's the direction that we want to shave it in. Most of the time, and this is not always true, but most of the time, the nape part of someone's hair is going to grow straight down in the occipital bone area, but when you get to the hairline, it may be growing in a different direction, because sometimes hairlines don't always grow straight down. So if someone has longer hair and they want to have their head shaved, what number do you think you should take that hair down to before you actually start to shave it?
A 0?
With a razor. A 0, but yeah, you could, but you want to be able to see the direction of the growth. So, I would say probably go down to like a 1 or even a half, depending on how much hair they have, so that you can actually see the growth of the hair. And then, you can take it down even more, but you want to probably get it pretty, sometimes if you take it with a 0 and you try to shave it with the razor, it's going to pull more than it's going to cut. Sometimes you need like that 1/8 of an inch of hair left to actually shave better than if you get it too short. So sometimes that works that way. But with a head, the freehand stroke is the one that you use throughout the whole head there. Make it a little bit easier for you to get all those different growth patterns. So there's no backhand or any of that. It's just usually freehand. Once you finish with this post-shave treatment, sometimes it's called finishing, but it's the exact same thing for a head shave as it is a face shave. Okay, so now someone has a beard. Beards are a little different. Beards are really personal to guys. They want to have their beard, their way. So we want to make sure that we're listening to when they're giving us what they want. We want to make sure that we're listening during that consultation. So again, we're going to drape. We're going to do our hair and skin analysis. If shaving is part of the service, if you're going to shave it, you might want to recline them back at that 45-degree angle. We want to look at hair growth patterns, densities to identify areas of uneven or irregular growth. Look at density is real important too, because if you get it too short, you're going to see skin underneath it if it's not very dense. All right, we're going to look for diseases, disorders, any condition that might prevent the service from being performed. Ask them if their skin's sensitive. Remember a few years back, there was people who were doing beard services and then adding like a temporary color to the beard, especially if someone had, darker hair, like a black to that to make their beard appear darker and, better. Sometimes they'd even put the color on so that they could see to like line up the edges, things like that. But what was happening was shaving, even with the clipper, it's kind of scratching the skin a little bit. It's irritated. Putting color on top of that, even though it's a semi-permanent color, it's still adding an extra irritant on top of the shaving, on top of the color. And these guys were breaking out like really, really bad. Itchiness. Itchiness is a sign of an allergic reaction. So they were itching, they were breaking out in like little rashes, redness, and the thing that gets me is they kept doing it. Like if I had a client that I was doing stuff like that too, and I would see that this was happening, I wouldn't keep doing that to them. And these guys kept going back and getting more and more done. So be careful, not to scratch the skin, knowing how to keep the skin, allergic reaction, we don't want that to happen. Watch out for that density, because that's what it was all about, keeping that density nice and thick. So we can do overcomb with our beard, we can do clipper overcomb, we can do shear overcomb, or you can just put a clipper guard on and shave the whole face. That's what a lot of people do, just clipper cutting with guards. But you should know how to do it with a shear overcomb or a clipper overcomb, because what happens if you don't have a guard someday? So you want to make sure that you know how to do all three skills. You have all that underneath your belt. So shear overcomb, right? It's easy to do this on like the mustache, or especially around the mouth where you can't really get the clippers in there very well. So medium to fine density, you're going to get the best results with it. And with less coarse hair, more smooth and straight, you'll get the best results for that. It does make it appear just a little bit longer. So if you're trying to go really, really short, then you probably just want to get the clippers in there as much as you possibly can. But your choice of technique is going to be based on your comfort level, the area of the facial hair being cut, and the hair density and texture. Clipper overcomb. Remove initial links really fast. It's good for thick hair or tight hair or curly hair. So when we're using the combs, these are the 3 combs that are recommended. I personally like the actual clipper comb itself or the barber comb for that. But you could use a large comb, a cutting comb, or the taper comb. The taper comb is sometimes called a barber comb, and I like that comb a lot. It helps you get in really small areas that you can't really get with an all-purpose comb or a cutting comb. So if we're going to use clippers, again, we're going to go freehand or with guards. Freehand is the blades only. You have to have a really steady hand, and you better be real careful when you're doing that, because one wrong move and it's gone. So freehand is just that. You have to use your hands. That's it, hand and clippers, but be sure that you know what you're doing with that one. Be steady on that. And then guards, of course, you could put them put them on the clipper. So when you cut with the grain, it's going to remove less length. Sometimes it's better for curly hair too. And if you're cutting against the grain, you're going to remove more length. And then for outlining, you have your tapered outliners or your blunt outliners. So trimmers are outliners, or there's another name somebody calls them. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's the tool used to create a clean, precise line. The straight razor is used after the initial outline is created for a much cleaner result. So if you're going to be doing a blunt outline, which is, like on a goatee or around the jawline, it creates the most definition in a facial hair design and lends sharpness to an overall look. Blunt outliners, such as sharp diagonal lines of the cheeks, can be effective in drawing the eye and creating a visual effect. So these are the things that we can use: a comb to determine or confirm the lines that you want to use. We want to position the trimmers or outliners when with cutting blade against the skin, starting under the chin in the center, and then work from side to side, because it just helps you be able to achieve. Outline the sideburn in the jaw, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. And then make sure that you always check and make sure that it's even all the way around. When we're going to be doing tapered outlines, it has a very natural looking perimeter. It doesn't have a hard line. They're more soft and blended. It's usually done with an overcomb technique, and then trim hairs on cheeks to connect and blend with sideburns. Trim mustache to blend with beard, and check symmetry and balance in the outline and blending. Sometimes clients want this more natural look. It is clean and well groomed, but without a precise line. So hair is tapered at the perimeter to visually blend into the skin. It's usually cut very close with short stubble or a medium shadow beard. Okay. It's critical that you check each facial design for balance and symmetry. The client's features may not be exactly symmetrical, so sometimes you'll want to create a slightly asymmetrical beard, goatee, or mustache to create the overall illusion of being symmetrical. Okay. And then when we go to do shaving, we have a wet shave or we have the electric shaver. Okay, so usually performed after outlines are established. Tools used for clean results are electric razor or a razor. Tools used for shadow effects would be trimmers or clippers. So the wet shave is the most common method used to remove hair in areas beyond our initial beard. You're going to follow the same procedures as you would if you're going to do a full face shave. That includes your steam towels, the appropriate razor stroke and direction, and the appropriate products. A wet shave is not recommended for clients who have ingrown hairs. If you're going to use an electric shaver for a quick, easy way to remove stray hairs left on the face or neck, especially on clients with less dense or less coarse facial hair. Okay, they're often used instead of a razor for clients who are prone to, or for clients who are prone to ingrown hairs. And then we're going to go into finishing. With finishing, this is where you're going to refine the design, check the balance, and use appropriate products. Make sure that you check this hair from all angles, from each side and from the front, and even stand behind them and look at their beard in the mirror, stand in front of them, look all the way around at 360 degrees. We want to check for symmetry in the outline forming. We want to check the perimeter lines at the cheeks, necks, sideburns, mustache, basically all the way around the whole perimeter. If the lines need adjusting, work in small increments. So work in like, you know, ½ inch, 1 inch increments around, starting in the center and working from side to side. If you're going to refine this design, that means you're going to adjust those lines as needed. You're going to comb it. You're going to do whatever you have to do to make sure that it's going to be evened out. We want to make sure that we use the appropriate products. Let your client know, like, okay, do you use oil? And if they say no, have you ever tried oil? Because that might be the thing for them to use. And if they say no, then ask them if they like to try some. You get familiar with products too when the clients are here and you're using, you know, you're going to cutting their hair, you're going to be using a styling cream or a styling gel, you're cutting their beard, you're going to use a beard oil or a beard balm. Get yourself familiar with products and how they work on different types of beards or different types of hair. That way you'll know what to use when you're out there on your own, and you'll know what kind of things that you like and you don't like. And then that way you can try different brands and things like that. But if you're doing a wet shave, make sure that you use the proper products to help prevent ingrown hairs, and just talk to the client about how they do it. They might even ask you. Okay, true or false? The procedures used to produce predictable face shaving results are preparation, shaping, outlining, shaving, and finishing.
True.
Finishing, okay. Proper preparation prior to a shaving service helps prevent razor burn. I'm going to say that one's true. The first one, I'm not so sure if that's true, but the second one I'm going to say is true. When draping a client for a face shaving service, loosely place the cape over the client's shoulders without coming into contact with his skin. After draping, perform a skin analysis to identify possible contraindications, growth patterns, and it's like density or skin texture or skin conditions, something, one of those. Lather is applied immediately after the application of the steam towel, and lather is applied immediately after the application.
Toner.
For lather? 3 lines. Lather is applied immediately after the application of the steam towel. I don't know. I think I could think it would be consultation. Not even be right either. The direction of the growth, the direction of the hair growth out of the skin is called the, I think it might be green. How the razor is held and perform the stroke movement is called the razor. How the razor is held performing a stroke movement. I guess I need to study too, huh? The appropriate angle used when cutting with a razor is called the cutting stroke. How a stroke is performed indirectly influenced by the hair growth. Cutting the hair using the clippers with the blades only is called yeah, okay. I really need to study this chapter. False. True. Skin green changes. Oh, pre-shave oil. Oh my gosh. Green position, stroke, body position, freehand clipper cutting. Why was that so hard? All right, so now you guys know what we need to study for sure. Okay, so Through knowledge of techniques used for face shaving, head shaving, and facial hair services will ensure predictable results that consistently satisfy your clients. That's true with all this stuff, right? We got to have the right steps so that we stay consistent. Okay. So, oh, how do I get back there? All right. Let's come over here to 108.4. Okay, so this is all about the client, this one here. So remember, for your homework, to be doing each one of the smart notes for these chapters and the terms that we gave you. I gave you the paper. All right.
Do you think you could text me the paper again? Because I lost it.
Okay.
I've been going through some things. I got lost.
Yeah, pretty sure we all have.
Did you vote?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Trump's gonna lose.
4 C's now when it comes to doing your client. We're going to connect. Do you still see my screen? Can you guys still see my screen? Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down, something? Okay. So we have our connect, consult, create, complete. So this is just on a beard service, okay? This is the things that we want to do. We want to connect with our client, meet and greet, you know, get them to trust us, build rapport. We want to ask, analyze, and assess. We want to protect, ensure, comfort, and deliver. And then we want to reinforce, recommend, pre-book, document, right? Keep records on your client. So now we can't shake hands, right? COVID's took that away from us. So how do we greet our client? We're going to fist pump them. We're going to elbow bump them. I mean, what are we going to do? Well,
I'm just gonna say, what's up?
yeah, just make eye contact, right? Be like, hey, you ready? You know, I'm going to do your service. My name is what? You know, and then you can just fill in the blank with your name, right? You're going to walk up to that person, make eye contact, give them some smile, be friendly. That's exactly what we're going to do. This right here, consultation, I think a lot of times when clients are like, oh, that person messed me up, or, you know, they didn't do a good job. I don't think it's so much that the person did such a really bad job on them. I just think that it wasn't what the client really asked for. I think there was some miscommunication that goes on with that. So we want to make sure that we don't have any miscommunication. So when we're going to ask, analyze, assess, explain, and gain feedback, we got to make sure that we get as much information out of that client as we possibly can. So what are, you know, oh, you're here for a shave today. Okay, so how do you usually shave, or what do you usually get done? Have them give you like a step-by-step of what they usually have done. What do they want? What do they need? You know, their lifestyle, I mean, they're going to shave. So let's just keep it like that. You know, what do they have time for, or what are their skill level? Because sometimes people want things that, you know, it would take too much shaving on one little spot to keep that up every single day, you know, and have it look good by 5 o'clock. If that's an area where they consistently have a lot of hair growth. I mean, we want to ask questions like that. And don't just ask them yes or no questions. Ask them questions that they have to give you a detailed explanation on. So like, you know, what's your normal shaving routine? You know, what type of razor do you use? Okay, do you use an electric razor? Or do you use a regular shaving razor? Ask them what type of razor they use. Because, you know, I know when I buy razors for like shaving my legs and stuff, I find, you know, 3-blade razors and 5-blade razors, and these razors that have like these moisturizing strips across them. I mean, there's a lot of different razors out there. So find out what kind your client's using, because that could make a difference on the type of shave that they're used to getting. And then if they want a haircut or, you know, anything else that they might want, do they want their eyebrows done? Do they want their fade lined up? You know, what else? Do they want anything else? Or what do they usually get done? Then while you're talking to them, you're looking at the face shape, you're looking at the features, you're looking at the skin, you're looking at the hair growth, you're looking at the everything that they have. You're just looking at that stuff. You're totally analyzing it, the density, the texture, you know, the amount of curl, all of that. You're analyzing that while you're talking to them about what they need. And then once you get all those facts together, you're going to repeat back to that client what they just said to you in a way that how you understood them. You know, you guys want to make sure you're on the same page, and then you can make your recommendations. Well, maybe we should take a little bit more off, you know, the bottom of the beard underneath your neck area, or whatever the recommendations are. I mean, see if they say yes or see if they say no. And then explain to them what you've agreed on. Make sure that they agree on it. Make sure they agree on a price. Make sure they agree on everything before you even start anything. It shouldn't take that long. I mean, it might in the beginning till you get used to it, but it really shouldn't. Okay. Then we want to create. We want to create what we just talked about in our consultation, right? We want to totally be able to do what we say we're going to do. So we want to drape our client, we want to cover the headrest, we want to put the chair at a workable height, we want to make sure that we have all of our stuff prepped, all of the things needed, all of our supplies gathered. And then as we're going through it, you can say things like, okay, so now we're going to lather and steam your face. Okay, so now we're just going to re-lather and start shaving. You know, at home, you know, you might want to exfoliate your face tomorrow morning to help remove some of the skin that may cover your follicle and your pore there, so that you may not get any ingrown hairs or you get irritation. Okay, so make sure that you use a soothing product afterwards, and then you can recommend products to your client. So many things that you could do. Once you're all finished with that, you say, all right, you know, we're done. How was it? You know, anything that, you know, for next time that I could do to make it more comfortable for you, or, you know, ask them stuff, walk them to the front, ask them if they want a pre-book, ask them if they want to buy any of the products that you talked about, give them a card, tell them to, you know, refer clients to you. If what I did, send people my way, and then keep a record card on them. It's funny because I always have clients say, well, when was I here last? And then I have to look back in my book calendar and find them and tell them when they were there, because they always try to say, well, it's only been a couple of weeks, when I'm over here going, no, it's been longer than a couple of weeks. Oh, I don't know the last time my hair was. And then when I look it up, it's always a shocker to them. So yeah, keep accurate records for that. So one thing that we want to make sure that we do is make sure that we are doing our infection control and safety. This is like huge. Absolutely huge. For one, you know, used to be like folliculitis was a huge thing that we always worried about. But, you know, if you accidentally cut someone, who knows if they have, you know, anything in their blood, or who knows if they are carrying, you know, any other bacterias or viruses or a cold or anything that could get us sick. So we want to make sure that we're doing our proper disinfection and sanitation. We want to make sure that we treat every single person that sits in our chair as if they have the absolute worst thing that we've ever came across. Okay, and it's your responsibility. It is your responsibility. It's nobody else's but you. It lands on you. So cleaning is going to remove the dirt and the debris. It's going to aid in preventing the growth of pathogens. It's not going to kill them, and it is performed prior to disinfection. So this is just washing things off with the soap and water. We're going to use our disinfectant. Our disinfectant kills certain but not all pathogens. There's been some different things now coming down from the state board and the CDC about how we're going to have to start cleaning things a little bit differently. So we'll go over that when you guys come back in, probably Friday. So how do we clean our razor? Well, the blade is disposable, so we have a sharps container. You guys all know where that is, so we want to make sure that we use it. The actual razor itself, we're going to open it and wash it with soap and water. We can put our blade into the EPA registered disinfectant, the disinfectant solution we have, or we can saturate it with our board approved wipes, or we can saturate it with our board approved spray, like our Cool Care. But the only way that that's going to work is if we leave it on according to the manufacturer's directions and we thoroughly coat that stuff with our wipes and our solutions. So we need to make sure that it's done correctly. Okay, we don't hone this because this is not something that is in, it's not something that we do in California anymore. But if we did have one and we needed to clean it, we are going to use water and a pumice stone to remove any of the steel debris. And then we're going to wipe dry afterwards. And then we're going to follow with an EPA registered disinfectant, following our manufacturer's directions. If we had to clean our strop, we're going to refer to all manufacturers' directions. But we cannot disinfect them because leather is porous. It will absorb and therefore we don't use them. Now, a lather brush we can use. So if you plan on using this, it is a one-time use and then it needs to be cleaned and disinfected. So you're going to rinse and remove any lather and or hair with soap and water. You're going to dry that out and then you're going to immerse it in your disinfectant solution. Okay, so one time, then once you take it out after your 10 minutes and you have to dry it and put it away and all of that great stuff. So it's one time only. For your shears, we're going to remove any hair. We're going to open it up and wash with soap and water. And then it says solution wipes or immersion. So what you can do with that after you wash it with soap and water is spray it on a towel with your Cool Care. Again, you got to make sure that it stays thoroughly saturated and let it set for the required amount of time, which is 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you can go ahead and wipe that off and put it away. If you've got a back-to-back client, I hear this all the time. Oh, I got to disinfect my stuff. I don't have time to do another client. When you finish, if you go wash your shears off real fast and spray them down and have them sitting out there while you finish cleaning up, getting ready for your next client, by the time that client gets in your chair, your 10 minutes will be up and those shears will be ready for use again. Same thing with your clippers and trimmers. When you use a brush, a can of air, anything to remove as much hair as you can out of your trimmers or clippers. You can use blade wash, but that doesn't need to be done after every client. We can use, if we use detachable blades, we want to immerse it into blade wash. Yeah, but we don't use it after every time. But what you will want to do is use the Cool Care. Think of a back-to-back client, you finish this. We want to remove wash with soap and water because what good are broken teeth?
Wait, can you repeat that? All I heard was
So when you put your combs and brushes in the disinfectant solution, it's a 10-minute time of immersion, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we want to get them out after 10 minutes because if you leave it in there longer than 10 minutes, over time, your teeth are going to start breaking out, or the combs or brushes are going to break because that solution like makes everything dry and brittle, and so like the teeth break out of it. So we don't want broken teeth combs. You have to throw them away. They don't work. Okay, so some things to remember while you're performing a shave. Avoid shaving the area repeatedly. Keep fingers used to stretch the hand dry. Keep skin moist while shaving. Do not stop short while shaving over an area. Check with your agency for the use of neck dusters and lather brushes. Yeah, we can use them, but one time, and then we have to clean them. If we're draping, upright position, recline chair position. Which one's gonna work for you? Well, our book says partial beard design is upright, shaving or full beard design is reclined. The whole thing you wanna remember is that you drape a person properly. For you, for your personal care and safety, sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. Miss Sue has the cutest shirt. It says, keep calm and sanitize your hands. So yeah, it's one of those keep calm shirts. Keep calm and sanitize your hands. So we want to make sure that we sanitize our hands. I mean, if there's any question on anything, sanitize those hands. Wash with soap and water. Use your hand sanitizer, but make sure that you sanitize your hands a lot and don't touch your face. And we want to maintain good posture because back will hurt, your feet will hurt.
Would we
Go ahead.
would we still be able to shave after, like, once we start getting clients?
That's a good question. So I believe so, but we just have to have our face shields and things like that, face shields and masks, because some of the other services that are being allowed that are kind of up close and personal, like a shave, and say like the aesthetics department, or even like dentist, the proper safety gear, what do they call it, PPE equipment, is a mask and a shield. So yeah, but we're working on that right now, so I'll have an answer for you soon. Okay. So we want to make sure that our client's skin and clothing, or we want to protect our client with a fresh laundered towel and our plastic or waterproof cape. And that's another thing too, when we start taking clients, which is, it's going to happen soon. I'll tell you that. When we start taking clients, it is one cape per client. We have a whole bunch of them up here. And the whole thing is when you finish with that cape, it goes into be laundered. And the next client, you will get another cape. So when that happens, your personal capes, we're not going to use them here anymore. The ones that like you get in your kit, we're not going to use those here anymore. We're going to be using the individual capes that we have here and just launder them after every single person. So that's what I've been doing in the shop, just one cape per person, which I have to wash them like every single weekend, sometimes if I have extra clients, I have a lot of them. So, I have enough to get me through about, I'm gonna say 18 clients, and then I have to wash them again. So
Dang.
every single weekend, I'm washing a load of drapes, which.
You might as well get one of those cafeteria lady, like, aprons.
For what?
Disposable capes or drapes.
The disposable ones, I actually did look into that. Let me tell you, the disposable ones are $2 a drape. So that could get kind of pricey, I think, after a while. So
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Ones I have, but it is one cape per person. So we always want to make sure though that our client doesn't have any of the diseases or disorders that may be on their head or their face before we start any type of a service. Especially even like a parasite, like lice, there's nothing worse than start a service and get halfway through it and realize that, they have lice or they have something. It's like, we should always do a thorough analysis beforehand during our consultation to make sure that we don't have any of that. Okay. So if you cut yourself or your client, we got to stop immediately and do our first aid techniques, which, we've been going over those. Sometimes you might nick a mole or a skin tag. So again, during your analysis and during your consultation, it's really important that you look for those so that you don't end up nicking one of those. And all single-use items must be discarded. I've nicked one before. It was terrible. Okay. In the shop itself, we want to make sure that we sweep hair clippings at the end of each service. That means before that client gets up out of that chair, we want to make sure that that's swept. That is a total slipping hazard right there. Some falls. Yeah, it could get ugly. So yourself comes in. Huh? Did I froze? Am I still frozen?
No, you're good.
Still? Okay. So that means that every single thing that you or your client come into contact with needs to be disinfected. Okay, I mean, it was always important before, but I think it's really important now, especially with everything that's going on. So we got to really make sure, down to the hose that you hold when you rinse their hair off, wipe that rubber hose down. And make sure your electrical cords work where you don't fall. But most of the time, we don't even have electrical cords anymore. We have cordless. So true or false, the guest experience begins with building rapport and trust in your client.
True.
Yes, sir. It is true.
It's real.
Okay. Meet and greet the client with a weak handshake and a pleasant tone of voice.
True.
No, we don't want to be weak if we're handshaking, but we're not going to handshake anymore, okay?
Oh, snap. That's right. COVID.
Analyze your client's face shape and facial features, including their beard. Prep for a face shave using pre-shaved products, pre-warmed towels, and remove any stray hairs from the client's face, neck, and let's say shoulders on that one. Man, I need to study this myself. During the complete service essential, complete now, invite your client to make an appointment. Discard razor blades after each use in a
Sharp container.
yeah. When cleaning a honing stone, remove still debris by using water and that's a pumice stone. When draping for a shaving service, the chair is
Locked.
Yeah, it is locked always. Should always be locked, yeah, but I think they're looking for reclined there. When draping for either a facial hair or shaving service, the cape should be positioned without coming into contact with the client's
Close.
skin. True, false. Oh, profile. There you go. Shave cream. Clothing. Oh, clothing. Okay. No, that was neck. Clothing. Oh, to make a purchase. Oh, to make a purchase. I thought they'd want a pre-book. Sharps container, pumice stone, reclined skin. Okay. You know, I think, let me go back to this. Aha, there we do have one of this. Okay, here's a assessment. Okay. Communicate with your client prior to and during the service will help you avoid any misunderstandings and ensure predictable. It's everyone, man, my glasses are not in the right spot. Everyone.
Oh, D.
The same way you shave is in a timely manner. No, I think you're right with A. Okay. A barber keeps all of the following guidelines in mind during the Connect shaving and beard design service, except during the Connect. Build rapport, greet client with a firm handshake. Oh, except. So connect, consult, create, complete. Okay, so we want to, asking questions is going to be done in the consult portion of it. What is the guide to keep in mind during the consult shaving and beard design service essential? Invite the client to make retail purchases. Okay, that's complete, so it's not consult. Meet and greet the client with a firm handshake, so that would be done in our connect. Determine if the client experiences frequent skin sensitivity. Okay, that could be in consult. Or suggest a future appointment time for the client's next visit. Okay, so that would be,
C.
yeah, so it'd be C. Okay. Explain how to use recommended products to your client is important during which shaving and beard service. So if we're explaining how to use it, it's going to be
It'd be connect.
create, because we're going to be using it while we're doing it, right? That's what
Oh, yeah.
that's what I would think anyway. Why is it important to look for verbal and nonverbal clues at the completion of a barber service? To determine the client's level of satisfaction, to show other staff members.
See? Oh, it just happened. Oh, Connor or Miss
All right, guys.
Cornelius.
That's it for today, guys. You guys are free to go.
Where the fuck have you been at? Oh, shit. I mean, shoot. No. Wait, where's your galaxy background, bro? I want to see if I can do that right now.
It doesn't work on a laptop. Wait, maybe. Hold on. No, it doesn't.
What the fuck? Oh, Miss Connie. Where you at?
Gone. I'll see you guys tomorrow at school.
And then it was just 2.